guys, my name is Spencer Kaufman. Thank you for watching the Deception Tips videos. They're all about teaching you how to read people and detect deception so that you will be able to tell if someone is lying to you. Today we are talking about a really cool deception tip. This is kind of a recap of a few tips we've had before. So this is almost a pattern or a cluster of behaviors in and of itself. And fancy that, it happens on the legs. So remember when we talked about how it's important to watch the legs, because a lot of behaviors are going to happen down there simply due to the fact that the conscious knows that people are watching the face. So it is going to work very hard to mask the face. We've talked about that in a deception tip before. And it will allow the unconscious to leak these nonverbal signs of behavior or body language or deception on the legs, because it knows that the legs are usually under a table because you're sitting down. They may be behind a desk. They're not in the front. They're not seen. So you'll see these gestures here, and that is one of the behaviors that we are going to talk about today. So here it is. This is deception tip number 56. Liars may lock their ankles together and tuck their feet back under the chair, combining the X with backing away. So you'll notice there are three things here. Number one, they may lock the ankles. We talked about this in deception tip number 22, locked ankles. How they're going to lock those ankles and kind of push that tension on there so it's releasing that stress and that tension. Locked ankles. Then they are going to tuck these legs back under the chair. So this is the deception tip that we've talked about with backing away. This was on deception tip number 29. So we have the person, when they're lying, they may be kind of backing away to get away from the accusation or ward it off. They're going to back away from that target or from whoever is throwing something at them. They're getting away from it. They're backing away. So you're seeing this in this tip when they have those ankles tucked or backing underneath the chair. Then the third part is the X, combining that X with backing away, because they've locked the ankles, they've tucked the chair, the legs under the chair, and then if they have their ankles locked and they're tucking their legs, chances are that their shin and calf muscle are one on top of another, so they're making that X. And we talked about that a few times ago in deception tip number 49, when we talked about the calf muscle and how they will put their legs in an X to kind of ward off the perceptions or block the perceptions of the target. So this is kind of a pattern or a cluster in and of itself. It is locking their ankles, so they're releasing the stress and the tension involved in telling a lie. In addition, it's backing away because they're tucking their legs beneath the chair or underneath their body even and sitting on them. You never know. It could be any variety like that. So they're backing away from the situation. Then it is also in an X, so they're crossing those legs in an X to ward off or kind of defend themselves from the target or from their perceptions. They're withholding. Now, even though this is a kind of a cluster in and of itself on the legs, you don't want to just take this and if you see it, be like, oh my gosh, they're lying. It's time for me to call them out on that lie, or I know for certain they're lying. Because even though it is kind of three gestures and deception tips put all in one, it is still happens like it could happen in a split second. They all of a sudden, they're sitting in the chair, they cross their ankles, lock them up, put them under them, or tuck them beneath. It could happen in a matter of a couple seconds. So it isn't considered a pattern or cluster of behaviors. It's not conclusive. However, you will see other signs with this. You're going to see other signs that we've talked about, whether they fold their arms, whether they actually back away from the situation, whether they face the exit. Something else is going to happen. So watch for that. If you see this, pay attention to other signs that you will see as well. When you see the other signs, then you can start putting it together in a pattern and cluster of behaviors. So if this is your first time watching these videos, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Feel free to comment with any questions you may have as well. Also, if you'd like some more information, we've got books, blog posts, and podcasts all available on spencerkaufman.com that are dedicated to teaching you exactly what everybody is saying. Until next time.